Hi guys, and welcome back to Birmingham Fan TV. It's Tuesday. I'm guessing, obviously, when this comes out, it's going to be the morning of the game. Sorry that it's a little bit late. Schedule's a bit tight again. There will be a podcast this week. I'm hoping it's coming out Thursday. Do look out for that one. Before we start, don't forget, if you're new around here, which a lot of you are still, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like the video and comment down below your team selection tonight, your thoughts ahead of the game, your thoughts from last game. I'm really keen to get a lot of thoughts, obviously, into the podcast and put them forward to the guys as and when you do send them in. Might do a little bit of a Q&A this week in the podcast, so let us know if you've got any questions as well down in the comments below. That'd be great. The game, obviously, we all know what the early rounds of the Cup are like. It's not a distraction, but it can be a little bit of a hindrance, shall we say. Everybody wants to do okay in the Cup. Nobody wants to go out in the first round, especially to someone of a lower league standard. That's not saying that Portsmouth are a bad team. They're a very, very good team if you watched them last season. But obviously, it's a bit of a scalp if a League One team knocks out a Championship team, so nobody wants that. So obviously, Blues want to go through. But at the same time, injuries are big at the minute, and obviously, Blues don't want to be picking up anything like that with still a fairly thin squad this season. So it's important that we come through this, we maybe rest a few, but obviously keep the team as strong as possible, and then obviously see if we can just kind of come away with the result. No injuries, that would be the best possible outcome for tonight. But obviously that will be gotten into. We'll get into the teams a little bit later on. Obviously Portsmouth didn't get off to the best start this season on Saturday. They did fall to a 1-0 defeat away at Shrewsbury. Difficult place to go, Shrewsbury. Nobody's doubting that. And obviously, I think Portsmouth actually gave a fairly good account of themselves. They just obviously didn't have their shooting boots on, obviously watching the game and the highlights that I did. And they will be out. I think it's Rory McCracken on loan from Rangers. He's suspended for this game. Obviously, he picked up a second yellow card in that game and was sent off as a result. So obviously both teams are going to look to rest a few key players. However, I did read in Kenny Jackett's match preview that he is going to be trying to put out quite a strong squad because obviously he wants to build some momentum with that squad, and obviously starting the season off with a defeat wasn't ideal for themselves. So expect a tough game tonight, Blues fans. Really do expect a tough game. And Portsmouth, we know Fratton Park's a difficult place to go on a Tuesday night. It's going to be really tough, and Blues have got to be prepared, not again for the fight. We've got to be there. We've got to go and try and impose our game and try and take control of it, but we've got to be prepared to dig in as well at times again. So I expect a really, really tough game. If we can come away with this, with the result, then delighted. Obviously, the head-to-head stats suggest that we should be all right. We actually have had a good record in the past against Portsmouth. 29 wins for Pompey, 42 wins for Blues, and 25 draws. Obviously, so we are... we've done all right on the head-to-heads, to be honest, but obviously in the last few times we have faced Portsmouth, it's not exactly gone our way. The last meeting between the two teams was in the league in 2012. I believe it was the Chris Hughton season. We did lose 4-1 in the end. David Murphy was sent off at some point in the second half. And obviously the last time we met in the Cup, I think a lot of Blues fans will remember that one, was the 2-0 defeat in the FA Cup quarter-finals, which denied us a trip to Wembley. That was a disappointing one. That was a really difficult one to take. I think Frederick Picquion scored for Portsmouth. So, yeah, a little bit of revenge to be had in the Cup, some would say. But obviously, nobody wants to be taking this one at full steam because obviously injuries, etc. with our thin squad. So Portsmouth on Saturday, I expect them to line up in a similar way with a similar sort of team. They're lined up with McGilvray in goal, Walks down in Burgess and Brown across the back four. Naylor and McCrory obviously were the midfield. 2 McCrory suspended for this one, I do believe. I might be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong on that one. A 3 in behind the striker of Curtis Evans and Harness. I think that was from Burton. And then Marquez up front, we always know what he can do. He did it at Doncaster for the last couple of years, and I think Portsmouth got a bit of a bargain with him, if I'm honest. So 4-2-3-1, a lot of teams line up with this system. Very effective, very attacking, very direct. So obviously Blues must be careful of that one when facing them this evening. Blues starting 11, however, I expect to be very, very, very different from the team that played at Brentford on Saturday. I'm struggling to pick personnel for this one. It's going to be a tough one, and I think that obviously with the rested players, but we don't have enough to rest the whole team, so who stays in, who doesn't, that's the question. But my pick for the team that will go out tonight, and obviously I think may be strong enough and may have enough about them to go and cause problems to Portsmouth. Stockdale in goal. I know a few people will call for Moa Ramos to come in, the Real Madrid goalkeeper. No chance of that one tonight, I don't think. I think he'll play a lot in the 23s this season, and they're going to assess his development via that. I may be wrong. He may have been brought in for this reason to try and play, but I think that Stockdale played enough over the summer to earn a crack. I thought he was okay, so I think he'll play tonight. A back five, I think Maxime will stay at right wing back. Cogley, rumoured to be on his way out. I don't know whether he will start tonight. I like Josh Cogley and would be happy to see him slot in, and if he does play there, I will be delighted. But I don't think he's in the plans, so I might be wrong, but I think Maxime will start there. A back three of Wes Harding, Harley Dean and Clark Salter across that back three. Clark Salter playing on the left-hand side, Wes playing on the right and Dean down the centre. I think that's a fairly strong back three. I'd be very happy with that. A Christian Pedersen potentially going in at left wing back. I know I am a massive fan of him not going at left wing back. I really don't prefer him in that position. I think at left centre back he's awesome. But left wing back, he doesn't have the versatility or the athleticism to get forward. He doesn't possess the technical abilities to be a wing back. However, he's a solid option there, and going away from home, we're going to need to defend at times, so he could slot in as a potential back four. So, yeah, I think Pedersen will slot in at left wing back. I might be wrong. Believe Chet Kate is still injured for this one, so I don't expect to see him play any part tonight. A midfield two in front of the back five of Craig Gardner and Charlie Lakin. I think a bit of experience and a bit of youth in there, I think, is the call tonight. Charlie's done okay in pre-season. I thought Craig looked really good in pre-season. So obviously the two of those might get the run out to save. Obviously legs from Gardner and Crowley. I don't expect to see them much tonight. A two in behind, expect him to go with a 2 and a 1 again up top. Mrabti and Odin Bailey, I'd expect in behind Isaac Vassell up front. I know there is talk of Isaac Vassell leaving. I will expect that one to happen if we do manage to get the two forwards in that we're chasing. However, there was talk last night from Alan Nixon that Vassell is actually in line to start tonight, and that wouldn't surprise me. I think Duke ran his socks off. He's going to need legs again for Saturday, and Vassell pretty much is our only striker. We've got Jude Bellingham, and I expect Jude Bellingham to be on the bench to travel and potentially be brought on. But Vassell, a little bit more experienced, a little bit more physical for this one. I'd expect him to start up front. So let me know your teams down below. It'd be interesting. There's going to be a lot of variations. It's going to be a really tricky one to try and predict. But that's the team I would expect to go with. In terms of a score prediction, it's going to be a tough game, and I fear that if we're not on our game, if we play the way we did at times in the first 20-25 minutes at Brentford, we could get done over here. If we play like we did second half, but a little bit more freedom, I think we'll be fine. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Blues. I'd expect us to try and fire in some goals tonight. I think that Portsmouth are going to provide a real test, and obviously if we don't turn up, they could punish us. But I'm going with 2-1. Goal scorers, Kerim Mrabti and Craig Gardner. But you guys let me know your score predictions, your teams, and your questions for the podcast later on in the week. We'll try and pose those ones and get it out before the Bristol City game, before the Bristol City preview. But that's all for today's preview, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below. Put the notification bell on so you don't miss another video on this channel. Plenty of stuff coming out. Some exciting news coming up later on, potentially next week when we can get it sorted. People have been away on holiday, not within Birmingham Fan TV, so that one gives you a bit of a clue as to what's happening. But it's going to be really exciting when we do manage to get it out, guys. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you later on in the week for the podcast. Keep right on. Keep right on.